Was to critically look at this Trump's alleged genocide claims and addressing the nation as a country of particular concern, actually, is Dr. Stanley Kavwam, Publicity Secretary, Middlebelt Forum. Glad to have you join me on Newsnight.
Thank you for having me.
Why has Trump declared Nigeria a country of particular concern? And what do you make of that declaration?
Well, I think this is the second time the President of the United States is designating Nigeria a country of particular concern. And I think what baffles me is the fact that, we appear as a nation to be so delusional in issues that are as crystal clear that even the blind can see. For instance, we should all be aware of the fact that all the communication gadgets that we use in this country are not produced in this country. All the applications like WhatsApp, Telegram, YouTube, name it, Gmail, Yahoo, all of that are controlled from satellites that the United States of America is aware of. In particular, looking at the unrestrained scale of violent orchestration against peaceful communities across the Middle Belt region, straddling even the southwest, the southeast of Nigeria, and given the mass burials that we've carried out in this country. Imagine the list of 400 financiers of terror which was submitted to the federal government of Nigeria, which Commodore Olaomi of the Defense Intelligence Agency had revealed in an interview on Channels TV. Apart from that, Goodluck Jonathan admitted that he has sponsors of what? Terror in his government. Yet, the government has never been able to come out to name the financiers of terror or those who are behind all this monstrous carnage. Religion, it's fundamental and essentially a spiritual issue that arises from man's quest for answers to the basic universal non-material issues of existence. Therefore, given the secularity of the Nigerian state as contained in our Constitution 1999 as amended, everybody has the right and the freedom to what? To worship, the right to worship, the freedom and right to whatever faith that he or she believes in. However, when your faith now becomes a basis for your annihilation, when it becomes a basis for you to be targeted for attacks, there are many examples that saturate the length and breadth of this country. You are aware of the case of Sunday Jackson, who was attacked by a terrorist on his farm and who was sentenced to what? Death by hanging by the Supreme Court. You are aware of what happened to Leah Sharibu. You are aware of what happened to Deborah in Sokoto. The cases, the massacre of Christians in Dokonahau of Plateau State, in what? Where about 526 people were what? Massacred in a single night. It's still fresh. What happened in Yelwater of Benue State just some few months ago. I can go on and on and on. And the fact is that the evidences are clear for everyone to know. So I don't even understand why we would have to even argue. Because Trump had designated Nigeria a country of particular concern on the 2nd of December 2020 during his first term in office. And this is just what? A repeat of what in fact, the scale of violence that we've witnessed between 2020 to 2025 has rather tripled. In fact, I know that beyond even, the international diplomatic pressures that Nigeria would face, I know that, in fact, if the U.S. government, it's to really, because when you look at the press statement issued by the President of the United States of America, he said that is the least sanction or measure so far taken. Because what? When you look at the total number of Christians killed or massacred in Nigeria against the total number globally, we're talking about 3,000.
Yeah, but Stanley, the argument here is that one can understand and feel you being from the Christian community.
Yeah.
But if a Muslim comes here, he will or she will say the same thing you're saying, because people are being killed across the board.
Yeah.
It's not just Christians, it's not just Muslims. So some argue that there's probably an undertone in Trump's declaration, when he said that 3,100 Christians have been killed without giving even any evidence to support that claim. Some are arguing that there's an undertone. And why this argument is rife is that, for example, in Gaza, you have Christians there.
Yeah.
And Trump and America are responsible for giving Netanyahu the armory to the place is razed down, is destroyed. So, on the one hand, you're saying Nigeria is a country of CPC particular concern, but on the other hand, you're encouraging the slaughter, massive destruction of the entire Gaza. So it speaks of,
double standard.
Double standards.
Well, I would want to
and then, like I said, it's not just Christians.
Okay, I understand.
You also have Muslims.
No, the thing is that
mosques being destroyed.
I get it. The fact is that the dynamics of the Nigerian state are quite peculiar to our own context.
Yeah.
I would not even want to delve into the issue of Gaza and Israel. Now, the point is this. For all the terrorist activities carried out by Boko Haram came out to state that it is on what? A religious war. That was what Sheikh said.
That's against education.
No. He said they are on what? A religious war. Jihad is a holy war in Islam. That was what Sheikh came out to declare after the bombing that took place in Garabio of Jos, Plateau State. He came out, the videos are there, still there on YouTube or on social media, that what? They are on what? On a religious war.
I thought what they meant with Boko Haram.
No, I'm talking about
against Western education.
No. He came out to say that. You can fact check what I'm saying. That Boko Haram is on what? A religious war. Okay. Now, wherever you see Boko Haram coming out to kill Muslims, the primary reason they are targeting Muslims is because those Muslims are conceived to be moderate or even providing information to the military or security agencies to smoke them out. So as far as you do not oppose them, as far as you support what they are doing, are you getting what I'm saying? You are protected and you are insulated from the attacks. Now, for all the attacks that are happening even in Northwest, particularly the banditry in the Northwest, where communities would have to even go into peace deals with these terrorists and bandits, one thing that it's clear and is unambiguous beyond any shadow of contradiction is the fact that the identity of the people perpetrating all of this are what? They are Muslims.
Yeah, I mean,
and the point is good. I want you to understand this. Now, the Middle Belt has, over the years, for decades, been targeted for what? Genocide. And we have made submissions over the years to the International Criminal Court.
Okay.
Are you with me? Okay. Now, I can even tell you that the number of people that have been killed within the Middle Belt alone, it's more than 15,000. I'm talking about what we have documented and presented as a case in the International Criminal Court.
Stanley,
now the point is, I am not trying to. I'm not trying to.
But you also do know.
I'm not trying to downplay the fact that Muslims are being killed.
Security agencies, the people who protect us, are also being smothered out. They are being killed, and that the government also, to quite some level, has gone out to smoke these people out, I mean, concerning insecurity, I mean, in some quarters here, people say they're not doing enough, insecurity is increasing. But the soldiers are trying to do their best and also being killed. So it's not just like, is there a question of non-balancing these things? Because every life is important.
Okay. Now, if my house is on fire, it behoves on me to call for support.
Good.
It behoves on me to what? Bark. When a dog barks, it what? Calls for attention. And that is what people or Christians in Nigeria have been doing. They have been crying, they have been shouting, they've been barking. For the Muslims that are being massacred and being killed in Northwest and Northeast, it is up to them to make a case.
I'm not in any way downplaying that.
Good, all right.
But what I'm trying to make
that makes sense.
Yes, it is up to them to make a case. Because let me be frank with you. The Hausa Fulani, which was a marriage of convenience, because Hausa is an ethnic group, Fulani is an ethnic group. But you are all aware that for decades, we have been used to this Hausa Fulani assimilations to an extent that they have been seen as one and the same. However, you are aware that now there is a wave of discord between these two ethnic groups. There are Hausa people today that wherever you meet them, they completely would want to dissociate themselves from the Fulani. And let me be honest with you, who are the major victims of all of these genocidal attacks in the north? Particularly northwest and even parts of northeast. They are predominantly the Hausas. There is no Hausa community. Look at places like Katsina, like Zamfara. Go to Sokoto, all of the communities that are being targeted. I'm telling you this as a factual information that is verifiable. Most of them are predominantly of the Hausa stock.
What do you make of this statement by the president in response to Trump's statement? He says the country has a constitutional guarantee to protect citizens of all faith. Citizens, both Christians and Muslims, being protected. He also says his government is willing and ready to work with the U.S. and international community to deepen cooperation on protection of citizens of all faiths. I mean, that's the president of Nigeria responding to what Trump said.
Let me make a reference to what Thomas Jefferson, former president of the United States, said. He said, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, among which are what? Right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is the what? That is the liberal democratic ethic of the American society that gives dignity to human life. For instance, when the Yelwata massacre happened, what did the president do? He visited, gave marching order. But are you aware that till this moment I'm talking to you, there is hardly a day that goes without 1 or 2 or 3 persons being killed in that same Yelwata community?
That was a very terrible incident.
Worst of all is that communities on the plateau, in fact, where West in Benue State has completely been leveled and taken over. Out of the 15 wards of that Gwer West local government, about 14 have been taken over by these terrorists. I want to respond to what the president said. The fact is this: we need to go beyond mere lip service. We need to go beyond mere lip service, because the fact is this: it is even so embarrassing that it is someone from far away, from millions of miles away, coming to now even draw your attention to the fact that human beings are being massacred in your own country. Is it not a disgrace? The fact is, like I stated, all the devices we use, America is aware of everything that is happening in this country. No matter how we would want to be politically correct about it, we all know it is a fact. It's just like you're wearing glasses. I do not need any evidence to prove to anyone that you're wearing glasses, because I can see it.
Let me just ask you this question, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay.
What are the implications of the statement by Trump on the country, and what should the government be doing? I think you said you've presented documents. How have they treated the documents? What should the government be doing concerning this statement? And what's the implication of this statement by Trump?
Okay. The implication of designating a country as a country of particular concern, it's first and foremost, there will be intense diplomatic pressures on Nigeria to what? To bring to an end violations and intimidation and massacre of Christians in the country. Secondly, most of the pressures will be non-economic in the immediate term.
Okay.
Good. If the government is able to rise to the task of what? Reversing all of these monstrous carnage, going all over the country, there could be what? It may not move to the second stage. The second stage of the designation is that Nigeria would no longer be able to access any foreign aid from the United States of America. Nigeria would no longer be able to import certain products or devices, including military hardware, from the United States of America. And beyond that, Nigeria would eventually, that is, if the pressures, if the massacres and the genocide continues, Nigeria would cease to have any diplomatic collaboration with the United States of America. And beyond that, if it goes beyond what we're talking about, the country would be designated on what? The special watch list of the United States government.
Dr. Stanley Kabwan, Publicity Secretary, Middlebelt Forum. We watch and see what gives. Thank you for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.